Hello, it's me, Ariel. Today, I would like to expose unknown name guy in Block Tales, the creator himself. Now, I know there's no good evidence of footage, but that doesn't matter. I'll show some real footage and other footage that's about this. But I would like to expose him into drama. An unknown name guy's drama. Now, unknown name guy, I could never figure out where he was or where he came. He was a natural of making block tales, of having a lot of fans. However, until unknown name guy released Demo Tree, and just in few hours, everything changed. Everything was going into real life parodies to the 7 deadly sins. And it wasn't until hatred. Hatred is basically the devil. I could never like this thing, or add on to the fact that it kills you multiple times. No wonder why it's called hatred. But unknown name guy is just taking this way too far. And honestly, his favorites are basically combat initiation. His badges are weirded out with plenty of weird stuff, such as devilish stuff. And of course, there's also a freaking block tales right in front of the combat initiation thing, if you didn't know. And before the creation of unknown name guy, he was Moham. Moham is basically the parts of the group, and he was part of the group of Windsoft, and he was from there in the combat initiation team. But not only that, this started to get off-putting because I also found another one of his only alt accounts, and this one was Space Goon, which Space Goon is supposed to be Gooner, but it's kind of weird as well. But not only that, his creations came out from this year. But before the creation of basic games of unknown name guy, he was Polygon Donut. Polygon Donut, also known as the United States type guy, that he went to Australia to see Mario, was the one who got exposed for it. Not only that, I don't know if he's actually like the other Spaceman moonbase, but Spaceman moonbase is taking this way too far. And I do mean way too far. However, not only did this get worse, but in the POW video where you actually get the POW badge by just spamming the rocket over and over again, by going to the moon, if you didn't know that you get an achievement that was called the POW. The POW achievement, you can only get it if you spam the same rocket over and over again by going into the moon, which is a 0% active enable. But, however, if you manage to get this hat, you are probably a brainwashed person. However, by looking at the POW badge, his name is Morham POW. Now, not only is his real name is like that, but his name was getting a lot worse because I'm surprised that nobody has ever knew that some of the characters were from the Combat Initiative, that I was the only one that knew this. However, his only exposures are these people that really know about this, but in just a few hours, everything changed. And he got exposed, but not 1, not 2, not 4, multiple times. Like, look at this. Look at all of these badges. Look, these are multiple strikes from him. And this doesn't make any sense or any kind of situation like that. I hate demons. I don't disrespect girls, but I hate demons. I hope demons never come into me, and I hope they never come back to Earth ever again. And honestly, not only that, but I knew that hatred was an evil person, which I knew that was the sin of wrath and also a demon at the same time. But calling Builderman a demon isn't something very good. Meaning that, like, if anyone hates hatred, which I also hate, like, Spaceman Moonbase just literally just says, oh, don't worry, he's just fine. But obviously, no, it's not fine. Anything but this is fine. Because doing all of this, such as doing lots of damage, meaning that anyone would get angry and anyone would hate on it. So it makes sense for it calling to hatred, right? Well, until you look at the final phase of the actual face of it. The face looks absolutely discarded. It's like someone ripped their own face off and just show their actual real face. And honestly, that face right there and that red type of demon right there is Spaceman Moonbase himself. Yes, Spaceman Moonbase used to have, hold on. Now I couldn't get any other information of it, but as when looking at some of the actual other situations in the description, I couldn't get information from his own situations like this, but I managed just to get some of the descriptions that were saying something. Now, if you don't know how to read, like, you can just use a translator, but if you know how to read, you can understand what they're doing. Just kidding, there's no description, lol. The only information I could really find is these ones right here of the badges. The first badge is humble beginning, which meaning that this humble beginning right here is meaning that his mother is supposed to be annoying. But since he's a demon, he doesn't really get up for school. So he's calling his own mother evil and very mean. But it's actually his own mother, since obviously Terry cannot be his mother, which is bad by the way. But rather, his mother is calling up for his dinner or probably his own school. The second one is him being shakery because the second one is him having a lesson by having Lenny Spankies, meaning that he was 7 years old and his mother still does give him Spankies to this very day. The third one is him beating up a freaking guy that was a arm wrestler, which meaning that he was the one that actually pushed off or punched off a man that was the best arm wrestling guy until he died. The third one is basically him just actually torturing them, and these are 4 assaults by the way. And this one is just him being the king out of all of them, him being absolutely greedy. And the pits, it's him just crawling out the freaking ground just by scaring other people. The cards is literally just him pulling out some gambling cards or something. Him being as the builder is very bad as well. And him just leaving behind a person being heartful. So meaning that Spaceman Moonbase hide the body and he was most likely responsible for, meaning that he hid the body over it by not helping anyone. And also, he also really just cuts a balloon of a clown as well. So that's another one. The pizza one, he's just having a delivery time and decided to literally grab a pizza, since of course he really loves pizza and he's probably really bad. Not only that, but he also has like 10 really money. And of course, if you basically have basic stuff like other things as well, which if you don't know, this might happen a lot of times. Hot seat is basically him just blowing up a guard in his own sleep by a police, which basically the police died through a freaking bomb explosion. And of course, him just facing all of the others is just meaning that he thinks that all of them are others, but the Cruel King lost his clown because he was the one that was trying to protect everyone from it, meaning that Cruel King is still alive. And this is not a joke. The Cruel King is still alive because Cruel King is basically the Castle King, so he's still alive. True DPS is basically him torturing a child, this is not a joke by the way. He is actually assaulting a child by having veteran. And him just having all of his cards is just him having a lot of gamble, a lot of cards, and keeping it in his own safe. And that is illegal, by the way. You should not do that. And the pretty fire ants is just him having ants for his house. I did have ants for my house as well. They were like fire ants. They were hurting me at first, but it's him just having all of these fire ants in his own house. So that's bad. The pretty cool is just basically having a penguin in his house and torturing him with his own space helmet. As you can see by the little detail, if it's supposed to be a shadow, but I don't think it is. The bombastic is him basically using a bomb and destroying a bank. And of course, the savior badge is him supposed to save his own mother or any other family, but that is making things a lot worse. And of course, we cannot forget about now, even though he did save his own mother or family, however, the other thing called the slasher is just him torturing the king by the king saying help, which is basically him in the background and hurting the king once and for all. By taking the king's place by his own stupidity. The king of the seas is him stealing the fishing nets by stealing all of the fishes from the freaking ground due to his devious type of actions from his own situations. So it's him just having a lot of worms on his freaking arms. But not only did he steal other worms from other people, but he also got a lot of fish, such as a whale and a shark, which he got it from just for having this amount of strength. And Demo 2 is basically him just having a lot of trouble, which is him actually skipping from school, and also by having a freaking obnoxious adult with him, such as a grandpa, which grandpa does not look as appetizing he is. Grandpa looks absolutely depressed by this child, which is his father, by the way. It is Griefer's father, and Griefer is based on the Spaceman moonbase. Helpful Hand is just not being helpful. It's just leaving his own freaking obnoxious ants on his bed, and it's really gross, and you should not leave your ants on the bed. I would kill the ants on the bed if I were I. Good Noodle is just him basically crashing on cars, trees, and stuff like that just to buy a new car, and also by him actually escaping or having a lot of trouble. The honestly, is this a joke, is basically him just being killed by a freaking obnoxious, stupid frog that I don't know why did he get destroyed by a frog, but probably he did some devious actions and he got destroyed and got hit by a purple frog and just literally just got destroyed because of his own actions. And the purple frog was brave as well. He shouldn't just watch out his own face. The reality is just him having his own flies on his house, meaning that's another strike from his own house. Now having flies on your house isn't bad, but to be exact, they're called mosquitoes. So mosquitoes are actually really bad, and he's gonna have some lot of trouble with his own dreams or his own rabies. So he might have a lot of problem, and he's probably in the hospital. Big Bucks is just him being cool and a lot more greedier. Card Collector is basically him just stealing a lot of cards. Again, he's just doing gambling stuff. Dangerous Living is basically just him having all of these dangerous pets on his own house. In this one, he just goes on a dream where he's dreaming about something about an old man that's having a live-in, but this actually happened because he was just literally just torturing and he didn't know where he was in this dream type of world. And honestly, I cannot agree on, because this man did absolutely nothing but just summoning his own freaking bosses and his own animals that he had to destroy. Played Demo Tree is just him being absolutely afraid, which honestly Jehovah said you should not be afraid of anything that you worried about. So you have to be brave, but Spaceman moonbase decided to not be brave at all, but just being very scared. Megabucks is him being greedy once again, and by stealing other people's money. And also by literally just having a game itself. Monster Hunter is basically him just fighting his own enemies. Once again, he is being a monster. Card Holder is basically him once again stealing a lot of cards through a bad situation through a casino. Again, being gambled and very greedy. And of course, the red description where this one is basically him sacrificing himself, but doesn't even think of sacrificing himself due to the absolute situations. So, what am I supposed to do with this? Look at the definition of repention.
The action of saving or being saved from sin, error, or evil. God's plans for the redemption of his world.
Which kind of makes sense because usually he did his own actions. No wonder why he's a bad sin. And of course, these two badges are representing of him stealing cafeteria food and also stealing food from a grocery store. Now, of course, him being so devious, why would you steal things from a grocery store? That is bad decisions for you to actually do. Not only that, but he manages to get out there as safely as possible. He is a grown, obnoxious man as when he was a child. He is doing these bad decisions as a devious option. And I chose heaven because I do not like this guy. He just steals stuff from the grocery store and I do not like this. What's worse about this, that he also went into a gosh darn obnoxious thing by looking at his own shadow and being afraid of it. Now, I also become afraid of my own shadow, but I'm not anymore because why would I be afraid of my own shadow? That's just stupid. And you know what else? He also literally just bought removing stuff, which he was removing stuff that was unhelpful. He was disguising himself as a normal dude. And disguising is also illegal since you know what else that he was doing? He was buying those type of things and removing them, such as throwing under the water or doing these type of devious actions. Now, disgusting mistake is him being so confused and unknowing what he was supposed to do. Like when you say, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's just like, "I don't know, I'm doing something good." But he's actually doing something devious, which kind of makes sense. Noisemaker is having problems with his own head, which honestly, it's the mother itself. The color of his own freaking obnoxious thing of his own clothes, it looks different. Meaning that's his own mother. And he's making a lot of noises with his own mother. And I never did that for a long, long time. And honestly, him doing this still, when he still grows up, and by doing some loud, a lot of sounds, you're just torturing your own mother. Why would you do that, Spaceman Moonbase? And honestly, Spaceman Moonbase is no obsession either. Since he wants to go on the moon for having billions, he wants to steal the moon just like Gru did, and he wants to have to take the world for once in a while. And I'm not going to let this happen. Oh, I am not going to let this happen. I want Jehovah's to strike him down on his own throat. And I hope he never comes back ever again for doing all of these devious situations. And I hope he never does these type of devious situations ever again. Not only is he premium, but the reason why he was premium is because he's way too greedy. As well by doing all these bad decisions from his own mother. And I do mean it. Like, look at these type of accessories. Now, some of them are cheap, like the Espacito spider. I would buy it for 100 Robux. But not only that this happened as well, but let's just start off at the very beginning of Adopt Me. You see, I was enjoying my life when I was 7 years old. I was at Egg Hunt in 2020. I was enjoying my life playing like Break-In 1, and especially for playing Adopt Me, but just by getting the badges and 2 of these chicken type of things. Well, to be exact, the chicken egg and the freezer egg is basically the brain freeze egg. But these type of two situations of these two eggs that I wanted, that I already got, actually was him being devious. Like, he manages to report me, and everyone else reported me. Since I logged out, apparently, that logging out was not a good decision that I did. Even though it was a good decision for me to make another account, but this got worse because I think that Spaceman moonbase literally terminated my account. Yes, terminated my account, and I couldn't even access it. And plus, his account was made in 2015. Could you believe it? 2015. And he reported me because he was so jealous of me. And I do mean super jealous. I did also have another account that was called Robetta Own. But when the guy was basically over there, he stole Robetta's own personal account. And I was trying to speedrun doors but bad, but he also basically content deleted me. Because if you didn't know, back in the day, I was having a lot of fun with it. But these little guys have the same badge as basic stuff of the same creator that he already had. And also, this bacon right here, back in the day, he was looking like a knight at this point. He was looking like a knight, but until I literally just reported him because due to these only devious actions. And honestly, this is Spaceman Moonbase. Own freaking obnoxious thing. His real name is Robetta. Like, bro, I had my own account and this really got worse and worse. And you know what? I'ma unfriend him. And he also had another account called Unknown Name Guy 666, which is basically the 666 number, which I do not like. Which, if you didn't know, by the way, this is my original account, by the way. And this was made in 2020. My real name, by the way, is Ariel Kakara Campbell, by the way. Sorry for leaking my name. I'm just trying to seek for attention. It's not my fault. But starting off strong, there is one thing that I already had. That's right, the accessories. As you can see, I used to have all of these accessories. All of them. All of these accessories that I used to had. Such as Friday My Funkin'. I know they are all brain rotted stuff, but it's not my fault, okay? Because not only that, but I did have some weird creepy faces and stuff like that, but they were from Spaceman Moonbase, and you could never guess what I was wearing. You see these things right here? Those are not my fault. It was Spaceman's own idea. So he decided to report me because he was thinking that I was evil, but I'm not. I am not evil. I like to read Jehovah's Bible, and I only like other people that understand God, which I understand their own logic. But you might think that I'm the devil, but I'm not. This is Spaceman Moonbase's own idea, which not only did he got idea from his own attraction, but not only did he reported me, but he also got me his own freaking items that I already had. You see these two items right here? Yeah, these two items are representing my own items, which I got them for free, by the way. I am not greedy. I did not buy them with Robux, and I did not have access to them. And what kind of makes sense because, again, Spaceman Moonbase decided to steal one of my accounts and decided to have all of these type of items, and he started to like it. But I'm not evil. This is just garbage. This is my account, even though it's my memory. But I do not like demons or anything else. I would much rather pull out a shotgun rather than just dealing with a demon. And this sucks because Spaceman Moonbase was the one that's pulling out everything. He was the one that was being evil, not me. And this kind of makes sense because I'm Brazilian and I was speaking normal things. Because I couldn't say my account because I was just 7 at the time. It is not my fault or any kind of situation like this. Everyone, come see my account. Obviously, but I didn't say account because I couldn't even put it because, well, the translator sucks. But that's all they had to pull out anyways. And you know what? I'm leaving the group. This is what you get for doing all of these devious interactions. Which again, the Spaceman moonbase couldn't think of another idea, since he was all lonely. He was all alone. He was the same guy over and over again, since he was the one here doing these devious actions. Since he couldn't even think of anything, since he obviously was the one that was hiding his own self by disguising his own self by any means necessary, but he was the one who reported me and decided to literally steal all of my stuff in my own original account and decided to wipe me out and being terminated for me to log out in the same day. After that same day, when I logged out into my own account, I was at my aunt's house. I was at normal life. The carpet, the freaking dinner table, the freaking life that I was living in, especially for the staircase that I love, and especially for everything that gave me. But Spaceman Moonbase, also known as the main guy, also have a freaking mother named Roberta, which is honestly odd because I have a mother named Roberta, and honestly, he was the early bird. He stole my mother's name. I did not steal his, and I have my own mother's name. He stole my mother's name. He decided to do these devious interactions by only doing it in his own self. Not only that, but this gets worse because he was having any of these type of situation by having bad followers. And honestly, I cannot agree that he's a good, kind person. And of course, we got the teasers. Now, the teasers, they look absolutely horrifying. In fact, so horrifying that one of them looks like the bad person of a demon. However, as I explored deeper, I saw this, Moham, which Moham is basically maniac in a language like that. But he used to have this basic face splattered on his own avatar. But if you look at some of his own situations, like some of these ones, these are my hats, such as the tricky hat that I did not buy. But these two ones are basically these ones are basically the Friday Night Funkin' heads that I was using. I was a big fan of Friday Night Funkin', but is he a fan as well? Well, I do not think so. You see, he also bought some bad decisions as well, such as stealing my own heads, like this one called Raph. And this one called Raph is kind of evil, but myself, I do not like Raph for any kind of shape of way. It is not my fault, it's because of the airplane's fault, of the airplane story. That's because of it. It is not my fault, it is because of his fault. I like to read the Bible and understand Jehovah's in any kind of shape of way. But this guy has been stealing other people's freaking eggs. Yes, freaking eggs. He also bought the freaking helmet that he always wore. Even though I did bought the helmet, but I hate him so much and I'm exposing it for it. Not only that, but this got worse for him as well. Which, if you don't know, I also look at his own faces. And why did he buy these type of faces? I can see that with my own eyes. And not only that, but he's also have the same freaking eyes, googly eyes, as the same thing on his own freaking picture. Even though it does have the 7 on it, however, I do not think he's a good person or any kind of shape of way. Not only that, but he also did some other devious stuff by buying the haunted skull, by having a shoulder pet. Now, Jehovah's, I'm sorry for buying these type of freaking things. I know you forgive me and all, but like these type of interactions that Spaceman Moonbase, I do not forgive him or any kind of shape of way. Even though I do, but he just does these interactions over and over again by torturing his own family. If I was the family, I would probably explain everything to him. And if he doesn't learn, and if it doesn't learn a single thing from him, I would probably get super angry. However, he also had these type of audios as well. By having what right now? By having what? Oh, good. That's just a motor drive. Not only that, but he also got a lot worse. Because if you look at some of his themes were right here that he got from audios. Which some of them are onto the game, but others has been content deleted, such as these ones. But I'm going to show them right here, since already I knew this at the time. Okay, that's all that is. I thought he was going to have more. Oh, we are having more. Oh boy, I can see what he's doing. And of course, his only situations that, you know what else he bought? He bought this. A freaking floating animation that was literally only just basically only used when Roblox moderators by having a lot of things for having multitude of multiple Robux. And you know what he did? He bought the Robux himself, and he was the one that's evil. Oh yeah, I forgot. His own freaking glasses are from his own Moham freaking avatar. But also, that's not all he did. And the zombie Yeti? The Yeti was the original type of avatar for Bigfoot, by the way. But everything else is just bad, and it's just really bad because I don't like evil stuff. But the Yeti was supposed to be original Bigfoot. But Space Moonbase decided to not do that, and it's really bad because he just does these bad interactions. As I can also see for some of the badges, such as Duolingo standing on this fire, by the way, which meaning he's standing from hell, which I do not like hell. And there's also another badge with the alien on it, which is honestly stupid. However, the original Crew King was Chaos King. Chaos King is basically the boss fight, the final boss fight of Crew King. However, by looking at some of the details that I put in, the more I look, the more I understand what he's basically planning on. And I do not like it at all. If you look at the icon for the basic of the Crew King itself, you can see an eye with basic burning of basic stuff like fire on the eye. And the eye fire is basically him seeing in hell. Not Crew King, but rather the main creator of Spaceman moonbase by looking through hell. Him looking through hell. Now I know this is a Smash Bros icon or like a other icon from other games, but he's just suffering at this point. He is the one who's doing this to him, and he is doing these bad interactions like it's some kind of normal situations, but it's not. If you also look at some of the badges like Speedrun 4, he's also being addicted to money, to space, to freaking candy, and him just going in here and with the freaking clouds on top doesn't mean he's going to heaven. Instead, he's just way far from there. However, there's also other badges like called Welcome to the Underworld or Death Collector. Death Collector was supposed to be the original badge for the badge for the card collector, but he decided to change it with gamble cards. And of course, the RN God, which is basically the RNG God, is him having a lot of gamble, which he already did that type of gamble, and I think he's just doing it on purpose, right? Well, wrong. He is actually doing bad gamble, meaning he's basically getting the badge and being completely gambled, which is honestly really bad, by the way. There's also a badge called Super Rebound, which is basically like a freaking moon that's throwing around by being completely destroyed and being red. But the moon being red and being thrown at is basically him trying to destroy the moon, and by using a rocket launcher on the boss rocket launcher. And it's really bad, by the way. which not only did he also steal my other badges, which I got these two badges, like the donut character badge and the freaking shoulder pretzel buddy badge. But these two are representing that he stole my account. He terminated my account and he destroyed it, all because of his devious actions. And this knight, by the way, Welcome to Fight the Monsters, is basically the original version of the knights that he was supposed to platter in, but now he changed it to these type of ones. These skulls right here are representing of basically death, but also representing the seven deadly sins. Him also not knowing how to control a controller. Him also being a hacker, which he also hacked me. And he also become greedy, becoming into stone, and being run over by a bus into the moon, which is basically a reference by him going into the moon. But also him with the firefighter badge is him in the background by not helping anyone and by only helping himself, by just being selfish and disgusting, just by him helping on this badge, and by not helping anyone. I do setting the people on fire without helping anyone. No wonder why he gets a freaking job for money. He just only gets a job from Roblox. He also defend with this guy, by the way, which is really bad, which if you look at the icons, they look like from hell. Especially for 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, which he also is from hell. He is a spirit, and he always terminates other people's accounts, which not only did he have night wipeouts, but now he basically got terminated. And also, this guy in the badge called Drowned was supposed to be the original type of pizza guy, man. You know, the original pizza guy. But now, the original pizza guy got infected and decided to, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing at the grocery store? Why are you stealing? And so he decided to put him, dump him in a dump of acid, and decided to literally let him go, put him inside of a machine, put him in its timeline, and then he decided to literally put Jim onto the freaking computer. Isn't that fun? That putting someone in acid is a good thing, but it's not. And obviously, this is the original pizza guy, which is obviously Jim, but when Jim was drowning under acid, he basically made his own character worse and worse. And all of his other badges, such as basically grabbing breakfast for chips, him being a bad person by just killing someone right in front of him by being infected by a zombie, him basically being a crimeful type of criminal by getting caught by the police, him being dead by doing suicide but he actually didn't, and him actually just giving, and him just actually doing something else with other regretting his own self by basically stealing this guy's own money, which if you don't know, this was the same guy who basically was in the shopping carts. Now, this is Spaceman Moonbase, by the way. He is a maniac Moham. Not only that, but when he went into the shop, as by this badge right over here, he decided to dump this guy into a pool of acid and decided to kill him once and for all. And this is really bad because he also dressed up his own self like a fish, but it's also really bad because he also stole a can of beans by the employees. And he also dressed up like himself as a monkey, and this doesn't make any sense, but this makes sense as for me because this actually is really bad. And not only that, but he also just becomes a good person as for no apparent reason. But him just being kindful to a person by giving a bag of tips did not help. In fact, it's more than just not helping. He just did not help and decided to skip all of that and just decided to eat the chips itself, without giving anyone's bag of chips for him. Not only that, but the tip troll obby is basically him with the own horns on his head by being evil. And that's not all. This got worse and worse. This is the original king right here. Defeated the noob king. The Noob King used to be a guy that used to actually attack you, but now he became the Chaos King, to basically Castle King, into Cruel King. So this king got killed by him and decided to go into deeper and deeper and deeper lore. But all of these badges right here are just him representing into a bad decision, which just got worse and worse and worse. Things got worse for his own stupidity. And honestly, this type of boss right here, this scorpion boss, was supposed to be the original bombastic plants boss, but now he changed it. And these type of guys right here is red and blue, and this one is Clyde, which Clyde already is dead because due to be absolutely defeating him after. And red and blue still live on because now they turn into red and blue because now they are. Which not only is their red area, but he also had a lot of things problem with himself, like torture, which is a lot worse, by the way, since he also did a lot of bad decisions. And let me tell you, a lot of bad decisions. And honestly, look at all of these badges. They are just referencing some of these characters. But this guy right here, this guy is basically what's supposed to be, which I don't know who he is. But this guy is really bad and everything else is bad. Which not only did he do all of this, but this would kind of make sense because he is the one having problems. Like him being evil, like him being absolutely being evil by a worshipper of death, or him being absolutely disgusting. And I do not like demons or any kind of ship of way. All I just want is just the rewards. That's all I care about. I don't care about no disgusting demons. I don't care about them. I would much rather kill them. And as we can see, he basically got these type of badges as we can see. And the Builderman here holding a basketball, he calls him a evil person, which is not good, by the way. It shouldn't be evil. Builderman is just a good person, and he always does updates. Sometimes he is, but sometimes he isn't, because he doesn't even care sometimes. But he also gets away very quickly. With the moon fling is supposed to crash and destroy the Earth. But if you manages to put moon into the if you put the moon right next to Earth, what would happen? The moon shatter. So meaning if the moon shatter, he would no longer have to go into the moon anymore, and he would have to understand his own actions. But ending the world and stuff like that won't happen because due to these science generics, it would kind of make sense. And horseman heads, it smells so bad. Everything in here is bad for these badges, making his own character worse. And this gets deeper and deeper as I look down through his own account. And honestly, I can never go back to him and his own actions ever again. And honestly, if you look at some of the achievements for this type of game, you may notice this type of achievement, which this one is basically the statue himself. That's right, the weird, disgusting, annoying, disgusting, weeping gods that are freaking walking into weird, disgusting, which they're not only weeping statues, which is really disgusting, by the way, which they make you stop and look at him by killing you, but also this gets worse and worse. It used to have a tag before, but now I knew that Spaceman Moonbase decided to let someone hold his own sword and decided to make him into stone, which is honestly really bad, by the way, especially if you get caught. And honestly, this gets worse and worse because some of these right here, such as the big donation, this one is him being greedy, and this one just having a thumbs up is just him saying, hey, thanks for donating, more like, hey, thanks for killing us, which is honestly really bad. What's worse about this, Spaceman Moonbase decided to go into the developer's team and say, hey, What if we made the game unattainable and unaccessed for their own phones of their own situations? And you could never guess what they said. They said, yeah, sure, why not? Why not make it unattainable for mobile players? And that's something I could really disagree on. Because not having mobile players, you wouldn't get your gameplay as your favorite people by joining in the game. Only less people can join in the game without having updates to it. And honestly, you could ever guess. The creators trust him due to the disgusting evil interactions, and he was the only top there. But he made things a lot worse, since he also was the one that was here and made things a lot worse for their own interactions. But anyways, Spaceman Moonbase should be terminated on his own account. He should be deleted on his own account. He should be terminated of his own other alts accounts that he only has. And he should have a ban strike from his own YouTube channel as well, and his own stupid interactions of his own kind. So here's a lesson for you. This is not anything but having bad interactions, like having bad decisions and having harassment or anything. This is just an education type video that I only made for my own decisions. And I hope that no name guy makes the decision correct, and I hope he never goes on the moon ever again. And I hope that happens with you Roblox, because I'm just a good one here. I'm not a bad one, and Roblox, you should actually terminate his account. If not, Jehovah's will be absolutely disappointed in you. Anyways, goodbye. Have a nice day, and have a great night. Goodbye.